what's funny is like, we know how much money his brother puts up, you know, with his client partners. So afterwards, they were talking about like the biggest wins of the year.
Yeah.
And his brother said a very large number. And his client looked over almost like it was BS.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even believe it was possible.
It was interesting.
What's up, everyone? Dylan Starr here. Welcome to the channel. And today I have a very important topic to discuss with you guys. First, I want to introduce these two lovely individuals. A lot of you on the channel are going to be seeing a bunch of them too when we launch the new show coming out, Sell for Scale. My buddy Fung here is going to be on there, and some of you guys have already seen him. He's my handy dandy cameraman for the high ticket sales playlist that you guys got to watch. And then Laura Egachega, one of my client partners who work with her and her agency. So I wanted to do this video to talk about how recently I had, about a month and a half ago, our sales team were really excited because I had some booked calls with a couple of clients who were referrals, right? So this did not come from our efforts of doing outbound or marketing or anything. Referrals, go figure, if you actually get results, people send you business, right? So these are warm referrals. Yeah, and you know. So our sales team was really excited because two of these clients, or prospects, should I say, they never really became clients. One was doing about 100K a month, and another one was doing 400K a month, right? So typically what I see with a lot of people in the sales industry, whether they own their own company or they're on a sales team, is they get super excited. They get commission breath, right? Just because they know somebody has revenue and they're killing it, they're like, oh my God, this is a good prospect. This can turn into business. So what ended up happening is, I'll start with the 400K per month client, hopped onto the phone, and I actually later had to DQ them. So when I was talking to our sales team, they're like, oh my gosh, how did it go? That's a really good potential client. And I told them like, oh yeah, I didn't pitch them anything. And they're like, wait, what? Why'd you not pitch them? They're doing 400K a month. Are you stupid? And like, they weren't qualified, right? And it's literally like, how are they not qualified? They're doing 400K a month. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because this needs to be talked about, right? So this individual, yes, they were doing 400K per month, but because I like to partner with the right people, and this involves like scaling, building sales teams, you know, putting process in place. This individual, this prospect had literally just invested into something else, working with someone in a mastermind, and was just told that they should scale 3 different industries, 3 different niches, right? You know, solar, real estate, and I think roofing and plumbers and all these different things. They wanted to scale a sales team. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, that's a lot. Even her as an agency owner, you know, she only focuses on one industry, right? Imagine trying to grow, scale multiple different industries and niches at the same time, duplicating training, building scripts, getting them on the resistance in the industry. It's just not, it's a headache. And so and there was no changing the belief, right? So this is an individual who literally just invested in something else, was told to do this, and now I had to come and be the bearer of bad news and tell him that it's not scalable, like it's gonna fail. He should focus on one, right? So I DQ'd him, right? Let me say that again, I DQ'd him. And I want you guys to understand why, because this is where a lot of people fail when it comes to actually hitting results, getting consistency of sales and scaling. And it's that they get scarcity mindset. Most people, especially in high ticket space, will just create offers out of thin air to appease people that have money, right? You should only have one offer that you're trying to really focus and double down on. And the reason why they do it is because, again, they just have scarcity mindset. And you're a good prime example of this because I'm so proud of you. I think we talked about this on one of the episodes. You had, after recording me do the playlist, the sales playlist, you went and closed a 4K deal and a 10K deal. Yep. Just from watching and recording here on here.
Let's go!
Yeah. And I was super proud of him because later he had a difficult client. He had a difficult client out of one of them, right? Yep. He's like, yeah, they didn't want to follow the process or anything, and he did the right thing. So tell me about what happened.
So it's interesting too, because we talked about scarcity mindset too, and it's all based on price point. Right? Mm-hmm. The fact that the matter that I charged him a lower amount just because he was going to be a little bit, just because I kind of knew him a little bit better, right? He just was like, he tried to steer the ship, right? Like, as someone, you hire somebody and you trust that expert to do the thing that they're trained to do, right? Well, not so much this guy. It's like he had a different vision on how he was building his business, so to speak, but the way he kept he just kept thinking he knew more than I did at that moment, right? Just felt like that even though he hired me to do marketing and some of his copywriting and stuff like that, he was like, nah, like this is what I'm really going for. This is what I'm trying to do. And well, why did you hire me if you knew what you were going to do?
Right. And what's funny is that your 10K client was not needy, did not ask you every step of the way, like loves like the results that he's getting. I think he's sending you referrals too, right? Aren't you getting business now?
He just sent me a referral.
Let's go.
A paying client just sent me a referral who understands the value of like the framework and just letting the expert take their stance. But the whole idea is that he allowed me to build up this framework, and I said, okay, cool, I can get it 90% there. It's like, you have to help me with the remainder 10 because I can only do 90%.
Right, like it's their business. You're not gonna grow it all for
Right,
it.
exactly. And that's what the difference was with the other guy for 4K, is that he thought that I was gonna I was gonna build up this whole structure for him in like one go, and it's not the case. It's an interesting thing. The moment he put money in my pocket, he was micromanage. I gotta do this. I don't think this is
so
right.
Perfectionist, complex,
completely complex,
and control freak.
Right, and then it came down to where I had to have like a serious conversation with him, and I was just like, "Hey, man, you gotta let me know, like, how are you trying to build your business? Like, what is this thing?" Well, it's not even. He's been in it for 7 to 8 years, but he wasn't like trying to get it to like the next level. He wasn't trying to get an employee. He was just looking to outsource these things, and it's an e-commerce business. Right? Like he has a brick and mortar and e-commerce side, and my literal first thing was like, dude, you gotta hire someone in house. Like, if you want to like scale and grow.
He didn't even have an executive assistant.
No,
nothing.
And how much money was he doing? He said 100K.
So what's funny is like we know how much money his brother puts up, with his client partners. So afterwards, they were talking about like the biggest wins of the year.
Yeah.
And his brother said a very large number, and his client looked over almost like it was BS.
Yeah,
like he didn't even believe it was possible.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
My headache client was like, so Wally was talking about some of the results that he had gotten for his mentor and his clients that he was getting right now, and like, I mean, they're freaking like multi 6-figure numbers, right?
Yeah.
And this guy looking at him like
they were like doing almost $1 million a year, right? Or a month.
Yeah, almost $1 million a month.
Yeah.
Put in big numbers.
So he just didn't believe that that's possible.
Nah,
he's small-minded.
right. So he, Wally's putting up like $400K a month,
easy,
right? Like
easy.
And the guy who was sitting there, he was like, "Nah." He's like, the most I'd ever done by myself was like 250, and it's like that's like me by myself, like trying to. And I was like, yeah, that's you selling a product by yourself. Of course, you're only hit the one level, right? You didn't even ask him that he had a team, he had a process that was built. Like he knew, understand where he needed to invest in those types of things. Like he didn't even ask Wally for those things. He's just like, nah, there's no way one person can make over 400K a month.
Yeah, but so he did the right thing. What I'm super proud of him for is like he actually was just like, listen, this is my process and everything. That I told you that this was the process from the get-go, and the guy didn't even like ask for anything. Like he gave the dude a full refund.
And gave him assets.
Let him keep the assets because he said you hired me for results because of like this I can't help you. So he did the right thing. So I was like, when he told me, I was like, dude, I'm so proud of you because that's again scarcity mindset. Like how many people would do that? Like he's not having that scarcity, right? And so same thing in this instance. The guy, so we spoke about it. I legitimately, so the goal here, if you want to grow a company and business and sell more deals, is you have to find somebody who's qualified to be able to go and work with your process and know they can get results.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have a good offer, you're going to have good guarantees and stuff like that. Right. So let's take your case with the new offer and stuff that we've launched, building a team for, at the end of it, your guarantee is literally no brainer. Right. It's like, hey, if you don't get results, you don't profit in the next 6 months, we double your money back, and it's high ticket. Right. So most people won't sell those type of offers because let's be honest, they're not good. Like if you're really good,
they're
you're
a scam.
Right. So, but
you need a scam button.
But for those watching this, whether you're selling for somebody else or you have your own offer, to rectify the situation and not have a scarcity mindset, you have to put rules in place. This is key. Like if you do not have rules for yourself, for your team, your sales reps, your vision of the company, everyone to abide by, rules will literally keep you from getting somebody who's unqualified. So regardless of commission breadth, or regardless of what you're selling for and knowing that it can turn into revenue, most people will just bend over backwards and just say, cool, even though I don't think you're qualified, whatever, let's make it happen. But again, the promise is results. You know, if you're confident you can help somebody, I cannot confidently offer a solution to somebody if I know what they're telling me is gonna cause a problem, and at the end of the day, it's not gonna work. So no pitch, right?
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about rules real quick. You're gonna know. So like for him, example, you take action, you know rules. So now he knows red flags of individuals like that to look out for. And if they come up, he's not. It's not gonna work.
And those are actually just not red flags like on a financial thing. These are red flags in a conversation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is personality traits, red flags for me, because I've been going around doing networking, local networking, and things like that. And I mean, all the last 2 days, people knocking on my door, sending me DMs. I need your marketing. I need your marketing. I need your marketing. And I literally was telling my friend at the coffee shop this morning, and I was like, "What's interesting? I have so many people trying to put money in my pocket." But I said, I can help everybody with marketing, but I can't help everybody with marketing, right? And it's about who you really, really want to work with versus like help working with everybody. You can help everybody, give free advice, but the moment they ask you to do something, they have to fork up some money, and if they're not willing to do it, just be friends with them.
Yeah, of course.
I'm even iffy about the whole free advice thing. Like, go watch my YouTube videos. I don't even like talking to people and giving them free advice.
Well,
So many people
because they're not gonna. Well, because if they're not qualified, again, it comes down to that. They're not gonna implement anyways. So
Yeah.
it's like it's just wasted energy, right? But so what you want to do in your business, in your company, is number one, you want to establish like what your rules are, and you want to have a good offer and a good guarantee, right? So if you know this person must meet these qualifications to be qualified, and I know I can help them get results. If any of the rules are broken, they are automatically not a good fit. And this is what most people will not do. Like we're on tons of sales calls and Zoom calls with people all the time. And it's so funny when I have conversations about this, and they'll be like, well, this whole wall of product matrix of offers that they created to serve any type of situation that they run into. Like literally, like they have something to sell. It's like, it's craziness. And I'm just literally staring at it like there's no shot they're gonna scale this. Zero shot. They're not gonna, because they're just literally in fearful scarcity mode. Like whatever I can do, I can help and do all this, and you can't, because to make something better, you have to be super focused. So like example, one of the rules for her stuff, and our reps know this. Like if it ever slips through the cracks, like I'm pissed. Like me and our reps have a conversation to be qualified. So like if they're not willing to build and scale a team. If they're not willing to, if they have a mindset belief on actually increasing their prices, right? If they're not willing to, I know for your stuff too, to make it like duplicatable and not do just like one-on-one coaching, like actually like something scalable.
Coaching,
if they can't meet those criteria and abide by those rules, automatically they're not a good fit. They're just DQ'd. Period. Like it's on them. Some people you can like obviously have the conversation to reframe and let them understand and meet that criteria. Of course, you can get them to meet the criteria, but if they don't, there's going to be times on calls and when prospecting, especially in this situation, I mean, that's a really big frame for me to overturn. I literally know, and what's funny is I told this individual to his face, like I'm not kidding, like on the call, that I said, look, here's the challenge. I know that you just invested in this other thing, right? And you should absolutely follow whatever guidance you're getting there. I just know from my experience that if you made this amount in this one industry and they're telling you to do multiple funnels and build a sales team and go after all these different niches to scale, I'm telling you from experience, and I've ran multiple sales team, not possible. Of course, do I want to help someone at 400K go to like $1 million a month and get a piece of the pie? That's a lot of money, right? But I can't help the individual if he breaks the rule. So therefore, instead of just getting commission breath or being like, oh my gosh, this guy can afford anything, there's just no pitch. Literally told him like, cool. I kept the conversation open and said, when you run into the issue and you just are like, don't scale, I'm like,
Dylan was right.
Yeah, every single time. So
Hashtag Dylan was right.
Hashtag Dylan was right. I'm like, I'm gonna let you learn the hard way. I've been there, done that. And so I let him go off to devices, right? And it's gonna happen to a lot of people here on the channel, whatever industry you're in, whatever you're selling. So I highly recommend you just simply say, out of all the clients you've ever had and case studies you've had, who have been the best people that you've ever worked with? It's the first thing you ask. Who's the best ones? You act like you love working with them. You just love working with them. You can just see yourself working with a lot of them. Which ones have you had to actually like implement what you teach, what you do, and have gotten results quickly?
Yep.
Right? What criteria they have? Is this somebody who has a team of 4 or 5 people? And you realize, well, wait a second, every time I'm working with someone that doesn't have a team, it's like they don't do anything, doesn't get anywhere. But when somebody has a team, all of a sudden I can help them knock it out of the park, right? Then whatever that is, you literally make the rules for yourself and for your sales team to abide by. These are the guidelines. These are your commandments of rules that must be abided in order for them to be a good fit, to even deserve the right to be pitched. That's key.
Yep.
Right? What you have of value is we offer. They must qualify and meet your criteria to deserve to get the end result. And if you do that, you're going to get better clients who pay higher ticket, not even
less of a headache,
actually implement and they get results. And funny enough, they send you referrals.
They send you referrals, and they let you have access to all their stuff for free.
Like when someone's qualified, I'm more excited to offer a pitch confidently as a solution. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I can help this person. We're knocking it out of the park.
Yep.
Like I love doing the pitch part and saying like, you're 100% there. This is how we can help you. For me, it's more, rather than pitching, it's more awkward DQing somebody. Okay? Because that one belief that was holding him back, I was like, if he could just meet the criteria and be open to doing this, and I just knew there's like no overcoming that. It's gonna take time. But that's why fortune's in follow up, because later on down the road, as long as you never stop, those people end up becoming clients later.
Yep.
They're really good clients, and they respect you for
disqualifying them.
Correct. That's what's crazy. But the moral of the story is like, just don't have a scarcity mindset. Stop trying to serve anyone and everyone. Don't be afraid to make rules. Don't be afraid to DQ people. And more importantly, don't yell at your team for like not, like this whole thing, I can't stand that. When that's revenue on the table, like it could have turned into business. If they're not qualified and you don't have rules and don't meet the criteria, you should reward your team with, positivity and say, good job on doing the right thing. Right?
Absolutely.
I never hound our morning meetings and stuff. We never hound our team. I literally say, I look at the numbers and say, hey, between those people who you had a conversation with and this many people that were actually booked on my calls, what was the disconnect? Why did they not turn into a quality conversation?
Yeah,
like,
at this point now I
qualified.
trust the team.
Right.
When they say they weren't qualified. Like at the beginning, I was like, why weren't they qualified? Like I need details.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, okay.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, because no one wants to waste 45 minutes to an hour on somebody. Which, by the way, is what a whole discovery process is for. People talk about in the sales industry, discovery calls and strategy calls, and they think the entire goal is to get every single person that's on the discovery call. What can I do and say to make them into a strat? That's not what it's designed for. It's designed to go ahead and qualify early and save time from here, and then just say, oh yeah, we can't do it. That's what it's designed for.
Exactly. Well, that's what my whole thing is too. So I don't mind giving free advice because it's me disqualifying them the whole time because I know they're not going to be able to afford my
Dude,
stuff.
he's savage with it. It's funny. You want to talk about like not scarcity mindset? Like after like his event, he has like a ton of people. Because his copy and stuff and his emails are so good. Like I read his stuff and I was like, dude, this is freaking fire. So people are reaching out to him.
Thank you.
And they're like, dude, like I want your help with like marketing and doing copy and blah blah blah. And he's just flat out like, yeah, you're just not my ideal avatar. He just tells them, like literally, like zero.
Straight up front. Like if you're upfront and direct with people, and they will respect you for that.
100%.
Like because a lot of the time people try to give them fluff. I'm gonna go ahead and get your money and stuff like that, right? But I'll go. I literally tell him straight, like, bro, you're just not at the level where I can help you yet. And he was like, well, what do you mean? You don't even know what you're selling to me yet. And I've said that to like 6 people in the last 2 days. I was like, you don't even know what you're selling to me yet, but I know what I'm selling to you. That's when I go back to it's like, I can help everybody with marketing, but I can't help everybody with marketing. Like, gotta know some of it.
Yeah, like for me, the biggest red flag is when I ask somebody, who's your target audience? And they say everyone.
Dude,
they're so bad.
That's why I hate this whole thing in the sales industry where people say they should talk 80% of the time and you should talk 20% of the time. It's gotten so ridiculous to the point that there are actual softwares that measure who's talking the most. And the goal of the software is to show you to get better, you want to try to lessen it. I think that's the dumbest thing possible.
Oh my gosh.
If you're trying to reframe somebody in qualifications and get beliefs and you have to tell a story to do so, you have to talk. Like I've had a lot of amazing calls and closes.
I don't think it's because in the sales industry, I don't think they're teaching you what you're teaching.
No, because it's ass
Right?
backwards.
Yeah.
They just repeat, they just copy each other, and then they go.
They're
and
just
post
trying
talk
to get
about
as
it.
much pain out as possible to
Right.
then hold it against them at
Yeah.
the end without putting it.
Yeah.
That's like the scammy used car salesman
Yep.
vibes.
Mhm. Or one call closes.
Yeah.
We had a when Clubhouse first came out, we were hosting this room, and this guy came in, and I think he was doing like ecom, and he was asking.
Oh
us-
yeah, he's
this
doing email marketing for
This is
e-com
how
stores.
ridiculous. This is it's so bad, and like it's so funny because I was sitting there doing the math, and we're like, cool, like how can we help you? What's going on? He's like, yeah, I'm trying to scale. I'm trying to hit 20K a month, right? For like ecom, and I was thinking, I was like, man, 20K, like that's not that
That's
much.
achievable.
Yeah, that's very achievable. Like what?
Without
And then I'm like, he's like, yeah.
I think
So
he's charging $1,500 or $2,000 a month. or
something like that. So he's sitting there, and so he wanted. I guess he was just so every time we'd give him advice, he'd combat what I was saying. He'd tell, well, I don't agree
He
with
was
that.
just
because of
lazy
this.
because our advice was like, you have to put in the fucking work,
Yeah.
and he just didn't
So-
want to do that. Like he's like, who can just book me appointments?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that was-
no. So then he goes. So after that's his goal, I asked him like, well, what are you converting and stuff for doing your thing? So he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing outreach and doing outbound and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I'm converting 90%. I was like, ah! At that point, I muted myself. I didn't even talk. I immediately texted her. I'm like, he's complete full shit.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're converting
your goal is
90%.
20K.
And your goal is 20K. That makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Like literally just trying to
Unless you're
show.
only talking like to 5 people. Like,
Yeah. Oh man.
You
Just-
know, like
Right, but then he should have disclosed that because that makes his closing rate like
Dude, you're not.
irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
So if your goal is to qualify, you're not gonna have a ton of one call closes. Sorry. Like I know that's not sexy and people who are on this channel want to hear that, but it's reality. Like reality that people are selling like the backwards ass stream, right? The whole you must talk 20% of the time. You must have focus on one call closures for you and your team, right? If you really think that every single person that you talk to is going to be qualified to be a one call close and even be a good fit for your product and service? And it's so funny because when we in our world, when we talk to other people like crushing it, right? You're talking like multiple eight figures.
Yep.
Every single one of them always talk about like their data on sales of how many they DQ. It's like literally like 60+% DQ in teams.
And then
Not no's, like they
Ours
just
is
weren't
probably
even
more
pitched.
than that.
Probably,
More than 60.
yeah, it's high, but no one talks about that, right? It's just one call closes. What can you pitch them? Make another offer, and so people fall into this thing of scarcity, not abundancy, and then they can never scale and grow. That's what I want to cover in the video. Make your rules for your business, for your team, whatever those may be. Actually abide by the rules. Do not have a scarcity mindset. Do not get commission breath. And do what's right for you, your company, as well as the prospect, so that they can actually get results. You're going to get referrals. You're going to get higher ticket clients who are way easier to deal with. And more importantly, you're going to get referrals from them actually winning. So if you guys found value in this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys, everyone who's been messaging me and following the channel so far. I love reading your comments and I love all the positive feedback. I'm going to keep plugging away for you guys. If there's anything you want covered in a future video, let me know. And then be on the lookout for the new show, Sell for Scale, that's going to be launching really soon. I'll have these two on multiple episodes, plus multiple special guests who are going to do like one-on-one interactions, very polarizing, hot topics in the sell industry to give you guys as much value as possible. My name's Dylan Starr, and I'll see you on the next video.
Did you tell her to play? Can you hit play?
I just hit record.
I'm so confused. Are you saying we're not special guests?
No, you're going to be the recurring guest all the time.
Oh, okay. We're the co-hosts.
Yeah, sure.
Every time.
Oh, fuck!
And they